Welcome to your video guide to buying a diamond. My name is Peter Cascone, and I'm here to show you how you can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars on your upcoming diamond purchase. And for the diamonds you may already have, I'll show you how to protect yourself from becoming a victim of an unscrupulous jeweler. Chances are there's a pretty good time in your life. Maybe you're getting married, getting engaged, celebrating an anniversary, or it's the birthday of someone you love. Buying a diamond is not an everyday occurrence. It's a beautiful thing, and what better way to celebrate reaching one of these milestones in life than with the gift of a diamond, one of the most precious stones on the planet. You've made an excellent choice thus far, and I'm going to show you just how to make sure it stays that way. Let's get started. First though, I want to talk to you about value. That's what this video is all about, value. Whether you're planning to spend $2,000 or $25,000, you'll want to buy something that's worth what you pay for it, something you or someone dear to you can appreciate for a long time to come. So when I talk to you about some of the do's and don'ts of diamond buying, I want you to remember one thing. What I'm really talking about is value. You've made a decision to spend your money on someone and something important to you, and I'm here to make sure you get your money's worth. Here are a few important questions you'll have answers to by the end of this video. Number one, how do I tell the difference between one diamond and another? Number two, how do I figure out how much a diamond's worth? Number three, how do I protect myself from being ripped off? Number four, how can I save money on the diamond I buy? And number five, how do I go about getting my diamond appraised properly? Before we go into the specifics, I just want to remind you of one extremely important diamond buying asset you already have. You'll find it at the top of your shoulders, between your ears. It's called your brain. Make good use of it. For those of you without one, you can just ignore what I'm about to say. I think what makes buying a diamond so different from many of the purchases that you make in life is that when you buy a diamond, you're making an investment. Yet you wouldn't believe how many people have bought diamonds without ever giving a second thought to who they're buying from. So again, rule number one is use your head. There are a lot of good, honest jewelers out there. They're probably the vast majority, and they won't be offended if you ask around about them, or if you ask them to, well, put things in writing. Remember, you're making an investment. Make sure you know who you're buying from and what you're buying. If anyone flashes that $1,000,000 smile, you want to smile right back and say, "Would you please put that in writing?" Now let's talk diamonds. There's a very straightforward system used by gemologists to determine the value of a diamond. That system is called the 4 C's. As you may have guessed, each of the elements of the 4 C's begins with the letter W. Sorry, just checking to see if you were following me. Okay, here are the elements of the 4 C's. The first one is carat weight, which relates to the weight of the diamond. The second element is clarity, which relates to the number and size of imperfections in or on the diamond. The third element is cut, which relates not only to the shape of the diamond, but also to the way in which a diamond reflects light. And the fourth element is color, which is not as simple as you may think, kind of like me in a way. Let's begin with carat weight. A carat is a measure equal to 200 milligrams. The word carat, strangely enough, comes from the word carob, because a carob bean weighs, you guessed it, about 200 milligrams. When we talk about carat weight, there are 2 key elements which must be kept in mind. Firstly, the weight of a diamond does not necessarily correspond to its size. The way in which a diamond is cut can deceive you into thinking it's heavier or lighter than you think. Therefore, the only way to determine carat weight is to weigh it on a digital scale. Carat measurements are broken down into hundredths of a carat. Each hundredth of a carat is also called a point, or to put it another way, 1 carat is equal to 100 points. So, for instance, a 3/4 carat diamond is a 75-point diamond, and so on. Be scrupulous about carat weight. Sometimes you'll see diamonds advertised as weighing 0.25 points. That means it's 1/4 of 1 point, not 1/4 of 1 carat. There's a big difference. Now, for our second principle regarding carat weight. The price of a diamond does not increase proportionally to that diamond's weight. The price structure of diamonds is broken up into categories. For instance, there are the 90 to 99 point diamonds. then the 100 to 149 point diamonds, 150 to 199 point diamonds, and so on. The reason for these categories is that they reflect the rarity of certain size diamonds. A good rule of thumb is this: the bigger the diamond, the rarer the stone, the higher the cost per carat, and the higher the price. But there are what the industry refers to as magic numbers. That's right, I said magic numbers. The magic numbers are just below where the price categories change. So for instance, just below 1.00, the .90s are magic. Just below 1.50, the 1.40s are magic, and so on. This is very important for two reasons. First of all, you can usually save a lot of money by buying a 1.40 carat diamond instead of a 1.50 carat diamond, or a 90-point diamond instead of a 1 carat diamond. I'm not saying you'll want to buy the less expensive diamond, but all other things being equal, you might not feel like spending an extra $1,000 or so for an extra .10 carat. It's up to you. What matters is this: make sure you get the price break if you're entitled to it. Since you can't see much difference between a diamond in a lower end of a higher price category and a diamond in a higher position in a lower price category, the one slightly below is obviously going to be harder to come by. It looks the same size, yet it's hundreds of dollars less in cost. That's what makes these magic stones more sought after and harder to find. But they're out there. Just shop around. Another equally important reason for understanding price structure is that not every diamond you see for sale will have its exact weight listed. Therefore, you need to ask for the diamond's weight down to the 1/100th of a carat. The slightest difference in weight can mean savings of hundreds of dollars. Ask the salesperson to weigh the stone on a scale in front of you. A couple of weeks or so before you're going to buy your diamond, get yourself a copy of the Rappaport Report. You can get it by calling. The Rappaport Report costs $15 per weekly issue, and it will give you the price per carat of various grades of diamonds. This way you'll know what you want to get for the money you spend. Remember though, this report is only a guide, not a Bible. There are a number of published reports of current diamond prices, none of which can claim to be 100% accurate. But at least you'll have an idea of the ballpark price for the diamond you choose to buy. Remember, this is your investment. Oh yeah, one last word about carat weight. Be on the lookout for two types of diamond imitations. One is called cubic zirconia, which is one of the most common and deceptive imitation diamonds. Since you're not an expert yet, here's the easiest way to sniff out cubic zirconia. Weigh it. Cubic zirconia weighs about 70% more than a diamond. So if it's the size of a 1 carat diamond, but it weighs 1.70 carats, you can be sure it's not a diamond. Another way to check for cubic zirconias is under a loupe. You'll see the girdle looks plastic-like and the facets are not as sharp. The other type of imitation diamond, which is even more difficult to detect, is called a synthetic. Every reputable jeweler should have a synthetic diamond detector. Have them check your stone in front of you, just to be safe. You're spending a good sum of money here. If you were buying a car, you'd look under the hood, wouldn't you? The same principle applies to diamonds. Here then is a quick overview of carat weight. Don't judge size, judge weight. Know the magic numbers. Check the Rappaport Report for prices per carat. Be assertive with your salesperson. You have the right to ask for what you want. If they won't help you, someone else will, believe me. There are lots of diamond merchants and jewelers looking to make an honest buck and satisfy their customers. As a rule of thumb, remember this: you're going out to buy a diamond, therefore you deserve to be treated like one. If you're still not clear, or if you want to double check something I've said, just go ahead and rewind me. Believe me, I love it when you do that. Okay, now let's talk about clarity. You may have already decided how much money you want to spend on your diamond purchase, so perhaps you'll want to really focus on the next 3 C's, and then once you know what quality of the diamond you want, you can go back and see what size diamond in that quality range fits your budget. By the way, before you examine the next 3 C's in any diamond, ask the jeweler to clean the stone first. Clarity, you might say, is in the eye of the beholder. Clarity is a measure of the imperfections present in or on a diamond. The imperfections seen inside a diamond are called inclusions. Exterior imperfections are called blemishes. There are two major distinctions to be made concerning clarity. There are those imperfections which can be seen by the naked eye, and those which can be seen only under 10 times magnification. 10 times magnification is the industry standard. Again, when you decide upon the diamond you want, you may not be concerned with imperfections that your eye can't see. It's completely up to you. Though hopefully you're not married to someone who owns a magnifying glass. Internal imperfections are called inclusions. These are tiny pieces of non-crystallized carbon or minute non-diamond crystals. Sometimes a feathered inclusion can reach the surface of the diamond. Many inclusions are visible only under a microscope, and some are visible without. Inclusions are unique and different in every stone. The fewer the inclusions, the rarer and more beautiful the stone, and thus the higher the quality grading and the higher the price. Before I tell you the various categories of clarity, though, I want to reiterate something I mentioned at the outset, which is the idea of value. Everybody's got different tastes and different standards. We all have different reasons for buying a diamond, and so it's up to each of us to decide what makes us happy. Is it size? Is it natural visual perfection? Is it the price? Or is it most likely some combination of all three? Whatever you decide makes you happy. All that really matters is that you get the diamond you want and your money's worth in value. So relax a minute and remember, you're in charge. The Gemological Institute of America, also known as the GIA, sets the standards for diamonds in the U.S. The GIA has developed a grading scale for diamonds which goes something like this. A diamond with no internal imperfections under a 10 magnification loop is called an internally flawless diamond. As imperfections or inclusions increase, the categories are called very, very slight, or VVS, very slight, or VS, slight, or SI, and imperfect, or I. Before I tell you the difference between each of these categories, I'll let you in on a secret. Determining clarity is extremely subjective. The GIA are experts, so no matter what you or the person you're buying from think of the clarity of the diamond, I'd advise you to buy a diamond accompanied by a GIA diamond grading report, especially if you're going for one of the higher grades of diamond. Never forget that the person standing across the counter from you is most likely a salesperson and not a certified gemologist. So then, what are the differences in clarity? Let's begin with those flaws that you can see without the aid of magnification, the so-called imperfect diamonds. Here's an example of an I3 diamond. These are the kinds of flaws you could see from Iceland. Here instead is an I2 diamond. These flaws are obviously visible under 10 times magnification. The last of the imperfect diamonds is the I1. These are flaws which you can just barely see when you hold the stone up close. No matter what you're told about any particular diamond, you should always look at it first with your naked eye. Even if your diamond is an imperfect one, only you can decide how much that so-called imperfection bothers you, right? Now, let's learn how to find flaws under magnification. Every reputable jeweler will have a loupe, which is what that monocle-looking thing is that you've seen in all the movies about jewel heists. The loupe is simply a magnifying glass which magnifies to the power of 10. Some dealers may also have a microscope, but believe it or not, a loupe is actually preferable because it's easier to handle, and it allows you to look the diamond over from all angles more easily. So here's how to work a loupe. First of all, check to see that it's a 10 times corrected lens. I know, I'm starting to sound paranoid, but just do me a favor. Check it for me, okay? Hold the loupe about 1 inch or 2 from your eye. Pick the diamond up with the diamond tweezers you've been offered by your kind jeweler, and hold the diamond right up to the lens of the loupe. And then slowly pull it away from you until it comes into focus. Take your time, relax, breathe deeply. And if you see something that looks like a flaw, Question it with the salesperson. Here's what you're looking for. If at first look with the loupe you see some imperfections, you're probably looking at an SI1 or an SI2 diamond. SI, once again, means slight imperfections. Do you see heavy dark flaws or just a lot of small to medium flaws? Then it's probably an SI2. If the flaws are less severe, then it's probably an SI1. You'll be interested to know that a dark flaw can be corrected by a diamond cutter with a laser. They drill a tiny hole into the diamond and then use chemical acids to burn away the dark color. Nevertheless, you'll see evidence of this treatment, which means that the clarity could still be graded at SI2. The next grade up in clarity is the VS, or very slight imperfection. If at first glance through the loupe you don't see any flaws, but then upon closer inspection you see a few flaws or inclusions, then you're looking at a VS diamond. Looks nice, huh? If the flaws are in the center, it's probably a VS2. If instead there's only a small flaw on one side, then it's a VS1. The next two categories, VVS or very, very slight and flawless, are invisible under a loupe. In order to be sure about these two categories, you'll need to make sure that a GIA grading report accompanies them. VVS is actually broken up into VVS1 and VVS2, just like the other categories. Except, as I mentioned, you won't be able to see the imperfections through a loupe. A couple of final words on clarity. Make sure the stone you're looking at is clean. Dust and fingerprints show up under magnification. Also, when you're looking for imperfections, you should be looking through the top of the diamond, the area called the crown. Be aware also of a process called clarity enhancement. This is a process in which a crack or feather inclusion is treated with chemicals under extreme high temperature and compression. Thus is the feather filled, resulting in enhanced clarity. There's nothing inherently bad about this treatment, but it is important to be aware of this process because the filling can leak out under a jeweler's torch. And if you've got an enhanced stone, tell your jeweler before you have any work done on it. Last but not least concerning clarity, buy the diamond which best suits your needs. Some people want perfection. Others find imperfections to be charming, not to mention economical. So, once again, if I've gone too fast, feel free to zap me with the rewind button. Otherwise, let's talk about the next and perhaps most important of the C's, cut. Cut is also known in the industry terms as the make. Diamonds, as you know, come in many different shapes. Let's start with some of the more popular ones. The emerald, the oval, the marquise, the pear, and of course the classic round shape. Oddly enough, the fancier types of shapes usually cost less than the round ones. Let me repeat that. The fancier shaped diamonds usually cost less than the round ones. It's a question of supply and demand. So you may be able to afford different shapes than you had previously thought. Once you've decided upon the shape you want, you need to take a look at its cut. Here's how you do it. These are the parts of a diamond. This is the table, which is at the top of the stone. Look closely and you'll see that it's flat. Then there's the crown, which is the ring around the table along the top of the stone. The band around the middle of the diamond is called the girdle. The underside of the diamond below the girdle is called the pavilion. And at the bottom of the diamond is a point called the cullet. The various triangular and rhombus-shaped pieces other than the table are known as the facets of the diamond. A correctly cut diamond has 58 facets. Don't worry, you don't need to count them. I just thought you'd like to know. The table or top of the diamond acts as a mirror, and the way in which it reflects light is what gives a diamond its so-called brilliance. The facets, on the other hand, act like prisms, causing the diamond to sparkle and scintillate, putting the so-called fire in the diamond. Brilliance and fire are what you're looking for in the cut of a diamond, because these are the factors which tell you how well a diamond reflects light, and consequently, how well it's been cut. Besides, who wants a dull diamond, right? If you look at the top of a diamond, the table should give off some sparkle as well as some white light. Examine the table carefully. Is it flat and even? If so, it's well proportioned. What you don't want is a table that's convex. In other words, a table should be flat and not like a cushion. Ideally, the table should take up from 53% of the diamond's diameter, but anywhere up to 63% is considered ideal. And if it's larger than that, it's not a well-cut diamond, and consequently, its value is proportionately lower. The next things to look for are the depth of the pavilion, the angle of the crown facets, and the thickness of the crown. Ask your jeweler to show you how to measure depth percentage. They should have the tools you need. What you're hoping for is a pavilion depth between 42 and 45% and a total depth from crown height to cullet point of 58 to 63%. The ideal angle of the crown facets, which will determine how well light is dispersed by the diamond, is 34.5 degrees. Anything between 30 and 35 degrees is considered fine. The reason for this is simple. A poorly proportioned diamond allows light to escape out its bottom and sides instead of being reflected back through the diamond and making it sparkle. It's kind of like glare on a TV screen. Your picture just won't be nearly as bright as it would be if you had all the curtains closed and the light shut off. If you have a GIA grading report, you can check these proportions against it. Like all the other tips I've given you so far, how well your stone is cut may or may not break your decision to buy it, but at least now you'll know what the value of the stone is. So, can we get sexy here and talk about the girdle? The 4 types of diamond girdles are knife edge, thin, medium, and heavy. Medium is ideal. Thin is acceptable. Knife edge can make the stone susceptible to chipping. And heavy is basically a waste of diamond surface. That concludes the adults-only section of our video. It's time to talk about the last of the 4 C's, color. This is an element of your diamond that can literally change its value by thousands of dollars. That's why you need to be on the lookout for 2 things when you buy your diamond: mounting and light quality. Simply put, it's not a good idea to buy a costly diamond in its mounting. The mounting distorts the actual color of the diamond and makes the diamond's color look different than it is. Same goes for the lighting under which you look at the diamond's color. Ever wonder why jewelry stores all have the same type of strong lighting and all those spotlights? Well, that type of strong lighting, especially spotlights, is like makeup for diamonds. I don't know if you've ever been in a room lit by a black light, but if you have, you've seen how it makes everybody's teeth all look so shiny white. So the bottom line here is avoid optical illusions. The correct and accurate way to judge a diamond's color is in natural sunlight or in a GIA light box. Your jeweler may or may not have the light box, but fortunately, natural light is available 365 days a year. Step outside if you have to. If going outside is out of the question and a GIA light box is unavailable, see if there's a desk lamp available with a daylight fluorescent bulb. Diamonds come in a host of colors. Most likely, though, what you're looking at is something in the white colorless to yellow range. Your old pals at the GIA have a color scale which begins at D and ends with Z. A, B, and C category are being left open in case a more spectacular diamond is discovered in the future. Anyway, the color groupings go like this. D, E, and F are called colorless diamonds. G, H, I, and J are near colorless. K, L, and M are faint yellow. N through R are very light yellow, and S through Z are light yellow. If you can get access to a color grading tray, you'll want to place the diamond upside down, look at its middle, and compare its color to the diamonds next to it until you find a match. Otherwise, get into some good natural light, hold the diamond upside down against a white background, and see if you spot any hint of yellow. Take your time. If you literally see no color at all, then it's a D, E, or F diamond, with D being the most transparent of the 3. If you see the slightest hint of yellow, but the diamond is still very white when you hold it right side up, it's probably a G, H, or I. The more yellow you see, the lower you're going on the color scale. One of the best ways to check color is to compare your stone to a GIA graded one. Ask your salesperson for one. Only make sure that the diamond he gives you matches the certificate. Now look and compare. The best way, of course, to determine color is to have the jeweler send the diamond to the GIA. But if you follow the instructions I just gave you, you'll at least be able to tell a D from a G, and that's at least half the battle. Maybe you're not planning to buy a super high quality diamond. There's nothing wrong with that. The point is, now you're an educated buyer, and you know the value of what you're paying for. A few more things about color you'll want to know. Some diamonds tend to fluoresce, which means they tend to have a bluish glow to them. This is an optical illusion which makes the diamond seem whiter than it really is. You may actually prefer a fluorescent diamond. Just make sure you don't pay extra for it. Ask your appraiser to check it out for you. I'll be talking about appraisers and appraisals shortly. Also, be on the lookout for color-enhanced or color-treated diamonds. While the diamond may look better for the moment, the artificial coloring will eventually wear off. So for now, are we clear about color? Because if we are, then we've got our 4 C's covered. You should have a pretty good idea by now of what to look for in selecting the diamond of your choice. Now, let's talk about price. How much should you pay for your diamond? Once you know the carat weight, color, clarity, and cut of the diamond, the 4 C's, take a look at the Rappaport report and see what the retail price should be. First, find the weight category you need. Now find the color and clarity which match your stone. There you'll have the per carat price. The rest is easy. Multiply the per carat price by the carat weight of the stone. And there you'll have the retail price of the diamond. Say for argument's sake that it comes out to $4,000. Obviously your jeweler has to make some money, but if he wants $6,000 for the same diamond, you're probably being overcharged. Remember this, everything is negotiable. If you want to pay $4,600 for the diamond you've selected, you can offer to pay $4,600 for it. By now the jeweler will have seen that you're a serious buyer, so go ahead, make him an offer. Chances are he won't say no. He'll most likely make you a counteroffer, and you can take it from there. I don't know if you're buying this diamond for you or for someone you love. The point is, though, is this: if you deserve to get the value for what you buy. It's no accident that Mr. Rappaport is not such a popular guy. You don't need to be either. Just like any other purchase you make, it pays to shop around. Ask around for reputable dealers. Find the type of diamond you want and compare prices. You may not be able to make a deal to your satisfaction on the first try. So what? Stick to your guns and you'll get what you're looking for at the price you want to pay. Most jewelers will give you a discount if you pay cash. One good tactic is to work down the price to about where you want it and then to offer to pay cash for an additional savings. Given all the variables associated with diamonds, you can rest assured that diamond salespeople are used to negotiation. The burden of proof, if you will, is on them, not you. If they're so sure they're selling you a colorless, flawless, 1 carat, perfectly proportioned diamond, then just politely ask them to prove it. The ones who are telling the truth will be proud to show That about wraps it up for me. Now you'll have what you need to make informed decisions. The rest is up to you. Good luck.